Alright, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Maz and welcome back to the channel. Anyways, in today's video, I will be going ahead and sharing with you guys 3 lessons that I have learned about women since I started dating back in 2022. Before we go ahead and we dive into this video, I want to quickly explain as to why I wanted to make this video. And the reason why is because with all the dating experience that I have garnered over the last 2 years and talking to various women and having conversations with them and continuously meeting men too, befriending guys, talking to them, getting to know them, and just talking to people in general, I didn't realize how many guys A, keep making the same mistakes over and over, and B, actually have a much harder time navigating women than I thought. Myself included. Like, I'm not no fucking expert, but based off of like the experiences I've given women when they're out with me, I've been told by them, now they could be lying, but I mean, when you have multiple women telling you that, you take them out on good dates and, you're a pretty decent man, like you're not fucking weird or anything, it tells you you're doing something right to a degree. And so I wanted to go ahead and make this video in hopes to any guy watching this that might be brand new to dating, or you've just gotten into dating and you have very little experience, but you notice you're not getting that far, or you just got out of a relationship and you're kind of rusty. I hope with the lessons that I'm about to share with you, I can help you cut corners and so that you can navigate women better, and so you have a better experience with them and you have a better experience with dating overall. So be sure to go ahead and smash the like button for your boy, drop a comment down below, subscribe if you're new because we're on the road to 2K, and then last but not least, turn on my post notice bell so you never miss out on any of my future video uploads. But without further ado, let's go ahead, let's dive into the video and the first lesson that I've learned. Lesson number 1 that I have learned about women since I started dating back in 2022, and to me is probably the biggest lesson that I think a lot of guys need to hear, even myself included from time to time, is that you should never, bro, take what a woman says seriously, but rather pay attention to her actions and how she moves and how she behaves and reacts to the type of man that you are. And now, the reason why I'm saying that is because back when I first got into dating, not only was I the epitome of, a mother raising her son to be like a very, very gentleman-like, nice guy, like chivalrous guy, but I was also inexperienced with dating and with women. And if you know, on social media at least, I haven't come across it in my real life, on social media, women tend to say that they want this type of man, a man that's been untouched, is inexperienced, is gentlemanlike, and is a nice guy. But in reality, when you be that man for a while and you notice and you learn quickly, they don't want that, and they don't respond too well to that type of man. And so I'm saying all of this to say to you watching this video, bro, is whenever a woman tells you like she's looking for this in a man, or she wants you to behave this way or be like this, whatever the case, 9 times out of 10, bro, you should do the fucking opposite. Because in my experience, once I've gained more experience and I started to, instead of being the nice guy, being a good guy and, having boundaries and respect while having somewhat of a, I guess you could say, fuckboy appearance, I noticed women have responded a lot better to the man I am now, and I've had much better times with them and experiences with them than the man that I was back then and the man that my mother raised me to be. So, yeah. That is lesson number 1, bro, is pay attention to how women move and how they respond, and don't take what they say seriously. At least at the beginning, or in the beginning stages of when you're first dating a woman. I don't know how it works in a relationship because I've never been in a relationship, so I'm not going to speak on that. But yeah. Lesson number 2 that I have learned about women since I started dating back in 2022 is a lot of men don't realize that women, A, are very good at reading energy, And B, pay really close attention to detail. And now, the reason why I'm saying that is because when I first got into dating, I'm not gonna lie to you, just like every other guy that's inexperienced and is young, you know, I was only trying to chase ass. And I learned quickly that it didn't get me that far, because women can read energy and they can tell when you're thirsty or when you want something from them. And obviously, oftentimes that turns them off. And so once I started to gain a little bit of experience and I started to adopt what they call an abundance mindset, which I can make a separate video if you want me to go into that, I started to go into dating more so with zero expectations and not wanting shit out of a woman. And I started to notice that, keep it real, get whatever it is I wanted out of a girl, whether it was to spend time with her, whether it was to get some intimacy with her, or whether it was just to go out on another date just so I could get more dating experience. I started to get more of that. And not only that, but it's just like women could tell that I was being genuine. And I honestly was. Like, I just didn't care to sleep with a girl eventually or to get whatever it is that most guys want out of a girl. I didn't care for that because I started to build, obviously working on other parts of my life, some self-respect for myself, and I started to realize my worth, that it takes two to make a situation work. And so just as much as a woman wants me to come correct, I wanted her to come correct. And I noticed that came off in my energy, and thus I've had a much, much better time with women and dating in general. And now, B, just quickly, when it comes to women paying attention to detail, I'm not sure if guys know this just because we're not as socially equipped as women are, or we're not as socially calibrated because we don't necessarily need to be for survival reasons. But let me tell you, bro, in my experience, dog, women pay close attention to detail, from like the type of clothes you wear, to the color, to the jewelry, to whether or not you wear cologne. Because when I started to learn how to present myself better, and I started to take myself more seriously in presenting myself in a better light, not to impress a woman, but more so as a respect thing for myself, I didn't realize how much women not only pay attention to detail, but it's in the little details that help you separate yourself from the next man. Because in almost every single dating interaction that I've been in, or every single date that I've gone out with a woman and I started to wear jewelry, they would always compliment my jewelry, and they would always be surprised when they find out that I've learned how to accessorize, or I learned how to do something. And when I would ask them why they would be surprised, they would tell me that most guys they've gone out with don't put on cologne, don't necessarily accessorize with jewelry, or a lot of guys think that shit is gay, or a lot of guys don't necessarily take care of themselves. And so I've noticed women tend to have a respect for that when you do take care of yourself, and when you do decide to put, I guess you could say, effort into whatever it is you're doing, whether it's to present yourself, or whether it's, you know, paying attention to what she's saying in a conversation, to, let's say you go out on a second date with her, she says she likes this, and you take her to go do this, she actually like pays attention to that. And so what you need to do moving forward, bro, is whenever you're going out on dates with women, this and that, make sure you're always on point as best as you can. But at the same time, don't stress the fuck out, okay? Like, women do pay attention to detail, but in my experience, bro, like my beard lineup and shit sometimes would be fucked up when I go out on dates. They could give a fuck less about that. Like, they more so care about not only you overall physically, but how you treat them and how you are as a person. But yeah. The third and final lesson that I have learned about women since I started dating is that whole toxic masculinity shit that women say they hate, they actually love. Matter of fact, bro, in my experience, they love a traditionally masculine man, or I guess they label it as toxic, more than, I guess you could say, a progressive one. So, for example, right, back when I first got into dating, I was very inexperienced, I was very indecisive. I didn't know how to lead. I didn't know how to be dominant. And the reason why for the last two, I wasn't necessarily those things is because I was always afraid because of what I saw on social media, and I was very impressionable at the time, but I've learned now. I was always afraid that I would come off as controlling or being able to allow women to have free will or a say in terms of the day we go out on the date, the time, what we're doing, and in terms of especially like what she can wear and what she cannot wear, and if I should or should not pick her up. And so once I started to get a little bit more experience and I was around my boys that had a lot of experience and I would ask them questions, I decided to experiment. And because of this experiment, I started to slowly become not only more masculine, but comfortable in my masculinity. That A, women responded a hell of a lot better. And I've had a lot of better experiences in times with women. And B, how much I was overthinking this whole, I guess you could say, dating thing and coming off as controlling. Like, as long as you're not like a total dickhead to the girl and you're not like forcing her to do something and you sometimes give her a little bit of leeway. Like, for example, like I'll tell a woman we're going out on this day at this time. The dress code, I don't tell her what to wear. I rather just give a woman a suggestion in the dress code. Let's say, for example, fancy, casual, whatever the case. And I offer and you offer to pick her up. I noticed women have responded a lot better to that. Whereas if I would ask them, hey, like, can we go out on this day at this time? And, you know, letting them decide what to wear and being indecisive about whether or not we should meet there or if I should pick them up. When I let the woman lead, almost damn near, now that I'm thinking about it, it got me absolutely nowhere. But once I started to learn how to lead and I started to, I guess you could say, possess more toxically masculine traits, I've noticed my times with women have infinitely been better. And so I find it quite interesting how on social media you see a lot of female dating coaches or you see a lot of women talk about how they want this man to look a certain way, to be this type of way, and to act this type of way, or to treat them this type of way. But when you do the opposite, and this is funny because it ties back into my first lesson that I shared with you guys at the beginning of this video, but when you do the opposite, they respond a lot better. And so I'm saying all of this to say to you watching this video, bro, is all the stuff you see these guys talk about being masculine, you have to not only decipher what is right from what is wrong. So I recommend you apply everything so you could figure it out. But learn to be able to not give a fuck what anybody thinks and to have your own opinion. And basically, overall, just have some fucking self-respect for yourself, bro. And have some fucking boundaries. And don't let anybody, especially a woman, disrespect you or cross those fucking boundaries. Because I noticed once I started to discover my self-worth and have some sort of self-respect, and I taught myself that it's okay to be masculine, even though this society is constantly trying to tear masculinity and is constantly trying to tear men down, it's okay to stand against that. Because the epitome of masculinity, in my opinion, is even when the whole world is against you, if you stand alone and if you stand for something you believe in, that overall is being masculine rather than just falling for anything. I think there's a saying that says, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. If you stand for something, bro, stand on it. And don't let anybody, especially a woman, fucking tell you different, okay? Because like I just said, in my experience, I don't care how many times I have to say it, being masculine, bro, has drastically improved my life. Even though some of the traits I may possess, some women on social media will deem as toxic, the women that I've actually dated in my area, in my real life, will tell you otherwise. And I will tell you otherwise in terms of my experience. Like, it's fucking nuts to me. And so I wish that somebody had told me this or reassured me, or I had learned this when I first got into dating, that it is totally okay to be masculine, and that this whole toxic masculinity is actually better than this whole... Sorry, that was my skate deck. Is so much better than this new wave of this, I guess you could say, softer version of masculinity that women in society are trying to instill in men today. But yeah, that's all the lessons I had to share in today's video. There's honestly quite a lot that I've learned, and there's like a bunch of lessons, but to me, I've noticed these are the biggest 3 lessons that I've learned, and the ones that constantly come up for me from time to time. And so I want to share with you these lessons in hopes that it can help better your life, help you have better dating experience, and so that you can navigate women a little bit better. But if you guys did enjoy this video, or you found some value out of this, be sure to go ahead and smash the like button for your boy. Drop a comment down below. Subscribe if you're new, because we're on the road to 2K. And then last but not least, turn on my post notifications bell so you never miss out on any of my future video uploads. I want to thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all have a beautiful rest of your day, and I'll catch y'all in my next fucking video. Peace!